Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our service. My name is the Reverend Doug Wadkins. I'm joined today by our Director of Lifelong Learning and Membership Services, Catherine Bonner. We welcome you to a special holiday service. All who come in a spirit of goodwill are welcome here. We welcome you whether you are here physically on our campus or if you are joining us via live stream. We especially welcome our visitors. We hope that you will feel our hospitality as you are with us. If you are a visitor online, you can go to our homepage and click on that page, the Welcome Visitor banner. That will take you to a page that gives you information about our congregation. It's also a place where you can sign our virtual guest book. If you do that, we will send you our contact so that you can get to know more about our events and links to our various meetings. If you're here in person, we hope before you leave that you will go out to our welcome table, and you also there can sign up to receive our contact and get more information about us, as well as talk to one of our membership committee. We want to remind you that as it has been a warmer than usual and very humid winter for us here, so we have to play it week to week how we make this space most comfortable. Today, for instance, it's very high in humidity, and so we will keep the side doors closed and we will have the air conditioning on. When possible, we will open them so that there's more cross breeze. But in part, this is to remind you that when you come maybe with an extra sweater or something so that you're adaptable. We will try our best to make it comfortable, but we have to figure it out week by week. Also, we remind you that we have hearing devices, and that is especially important whether you're in this space or outside because for instance, today, we have to use the reading room as our overflow, and so we will not have outside sound on. But if you take one of our hearing devices, you can hear that sound all over the courtyard and certainly here in the sanctuary. So I invite you, whether you consider yourself to be hearing impaired or not, to be welcome to take one of those hearing devices to help you hear the service. Especially helpful if you bring along your own earbuds so that you're comfortable with them. We want you to know that Reverend Budfriend Jones, who is one of our staff, today is with the Lakewood Ranch congregation. They have begun their in-person meetings as well, and so he is there representing us and worshiping with them. Finally, we want you to know that the UUCS Arts Council is happy to announce a reception for one of its member artists, photographer Susan Davey. We are thrilled to welcome you back into the Lexile Wing Gallery in person. That is just across the courtyard. The reception is being held today from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., and we invite you to stop in the gallery to talk with Susan, see her exhibit entitled Poetry of the Ordinary. If you don't happen to have time today, the show will be on view through January 13th of 2022, and you can also see a video of Susan discussing her work on our church website on the page for Art Council. And finally, before we move into our interlude, I'd like to invite Karen Bush to come up and give us an update on our upcoming auction.
Thank you, Doug. Once again, I'm here, the auction lady. You don't need my name, just the auction lady. I'm here today to remind you once again, our auction will be January 5th. It's going to be on a Saturday afternoon with the auction, some wine and cheese. Oh. Thank you. What a wonderfully helpful audience. Let's try that again. The auction will be February 5th, which is a Saturday, auction in the afternoon, followed by wine and cheese and a nice light supper. And Roger Fritz plans to join us for that auction and this supper. I have a special announcement today. We try to bring you surprises. Today's surprise is that we have created an online system that you can use. And for those of you who are working remotely and can't join us in person to go to the table outside, this is especially true for you. Our online site is displayed up there. There is a link to it in Contact. You'll have a link to it in the e-blast that you get about the auction this coming Tuesday, and it will be all over the place. And the reason I'm stressing that is I learned this morning that if you simply type that in, security might prevent you from getting into the site. So look for the links, click on the links that you get in an e-blast, in Contact, it's already there, in Future Contacts, and wherever else you see them. If you have any problems, by all means, in this case, just call me or send me an email and I'll take care of it. Make sure you get in. When you get to that link, the first thing you will see is a home page for the auction. And I know you can't read most of this, but at the top you'll see those large blue buttons. Those are buttons that will take you to anything you want to do to know about the auction. The first one is to donate things and then volunteer, then look at the current catalog when it's ready in January, look at old catalogs. So let's take a look at what it looks like. If you click on the donate button, you'll get a form like this. You must put in your contact information, and then you just scroll down and follow the directions. Put in the information, description, and the value, and all of that, and be sure to click submit so that we get it. If you click on the volunteer button, you'll see a similar page. And that page, if you scroll down, you'll see a place to put your contact information, and then a really simple checklist of things you can check off, ways you can help before the auction, the day of the auction, and post-auction. If you click on the button that says 2022 catalog, I can't get the month right, I'll try to get the years right. 2022 catalog, as soon as we have enough donations, you'll be able to view the catalog online in January, probably mid-January. Some of you have asked to see old catalogs to get ideas of what types of things people can donate and what you might donate, so we have added them. If you click on the old catalog button, then you will go to a site that has the years, and you can click and choose, and then those will open right up. You can view them online or you can download them to your computer. One last note, and that is if you have any trouble, this is a new site for us, so if you have any trouble with any of it or you want advice about a donation, check in with us at the table or call me, send me an email, and we'll take care of it. And with that, I thank you very much, and I hope to see you come to the table to pick up a donation and a volunteer form. See you later.
Thank you, Karen, to you and your team for your wonderful work on the auction. It'll be such a fun evening. So we will now move more deeply into our service for all ages. Don Bryn will lead us in with an interlude. Here we have gathered in faith and fellowship. May the light of the solstice sun, may the beam of the Christmas star, the glow of season's candles, and the beacon of our own chalice illuminate the darkness of our days and of our hearts. I invite you to rise in all the ways that you do. We're going to sing a hymn that will be projected in front of you that's set to the tune of Green Sleeves. If you happen to still have one of your chalice with you that you brought from home, you are welcome while we're singing to bring them up to one of our 2 tables. But may we rise together and join our voices in illumination. May be seated. While the Flaming Chalice has become a part of Unitarian Universalism in World War II, it draws from far more ancient and diverse histories for its deeper meaning. Today we celebrate the power of this symbol and the warmth and energy it brings. We light this chalice in the spirit of the first and seventh principles, as we covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person in respect for the interdependent web of existence of which we are all a part.
Today is the fourth Sunday of Advent, and each week we have honored Advent from the Christian faith as a set of reflections leading up to the celebration of the birth of Christ. We light a candle, for the 4 Sundays before Christmas and then one on Christmas Eve. We're almost there. We have lighted candles for hope, peace, and joy, and we light them throughout the season of waiting. Let us remember to be fully present in the moment with each other and with ourselves and with the source of blessing as we understand it to be. We join with others throughout the time and beyond the time in the practice of repairing the world. Change is possible. We give thanks for the role models of the past and for the leaders of the future. for which we have a few here. We light this candle today for love. May we find love in this blessed season.
In this season, we would seek a spirit of connection and generosity. As we prepare to receive our gifts and share them with each other, may we think about all the different gifts that we have in our lives and how we best may use them in this time to make the world a better place. Our offering will now be given and received in a spirit of generosity. When the month of December arrives, there is a lot for us to think about. We may bring hopes, we may bring difficult memories and sadness. We may bring good thoughts about this month and what it can offer to us. But whatever it may be, it is a lot for us to take in. And each of us decide in our own way if and how we will honor the age-old and even some more recent celebrations of this season. It's especially difficult when we are surrounded by advice that seems to say that we can buy ourselves into holiday cheer. So it would be easy for us to simply check out of it all, wrap ourselves in a Scrooge-like disenchantment, and step out of the season entirely. And yet, for so many of us around the world, there is some sense that something deeper within us and around us is longing for more. We know that the long nights are calling us to something. We know that there is some light that we might miss if we are not careful. And we certainly don't want for ourselves or anyone we care for them to sit forlorn and lonely on a winter's night. There are so many lights that may fill our imagination and maybe our hearts this time of year. Which one might be the right light for our own lives? How might we discover what illumination is really our own to claim? Well, we need the guidance of story to help us explore our own corner of the sky, away from the overly busy and artificial bright shopping malls, and through the wonder of so many celebrations of this season, we may find our own way if we but look within our hearts and minds, open as the night sky itself. Come and let the story help you find your way through the long and chilly night to your own light. Once upon a time, Ed, barely an angel, had arrived in the land above the land called Sky. It was winter in the land of Sky, which meant it was dark most of the time. None of this blue sky stuff, not like in the movies. Ed was assigned to the piece of sky way over yonder. It was kind of out of the way, but it was his, and the spirit whose voice was the wind assured Ed that in his corner of the sky, he would be the one, he could be who he was, say what he thought, and believe what he must. But Ed was a very curious angel, and so he set out on a winter's journey. Along the way, he passed through many pieces of sky, each one as different as the clouds we see when we look up on a summer's day.
There wasn't much light to see these patches of sky, each one as different as the clouds. However, because we said it was winter and the sky remained dark for as much of the day as well as the night. So Ed learned about his new neighbors, not by what he saw, but what he had heard and what he understood. Being new to the sky, Ed had many questions, and his new neighbors told him the stories of how things began, of what happened to you after your time in the sky was over, and why things happen, and who is in charge of the universe. And one of the first manors he passed through was the Old North.
To the manor of the sky.
Oh, you know my name.
Oh, you already have it.
Yeah.
Well, of course, we always hear about the new kids on the block here in the land called Sky.
Really? How? Wow. Well, since you know me, tell me about you. What is your name?
I don't even remember my name, for I am as old as time. I live here in the manor of the Old North. Here the people honor the earth below the sky.
Hello, Ed. I'm Lucia. In the face of winter's darkness, we lit the candles of light.
Hello, Ed. I am Deepavali. To honor the victory of good over evil, we would light fragrant lamps filled with oil.
and we would light a Yule log for warmth and the glowing promise of another year.
Here's the light of hope.
Do I light it?
Here is the light of faith.
So Ed thanked them for welcoming him so warmly, and he continued on his journey through the land of sky.
Well, Ed passed as well through the expansive and beautiful desert called the Land of a Thousand Stars, and he approached a lone figure with great curiosity.
Oh, wait. Where are we?
Wrong page.
Wait.
Technical difficulties.
You opened up the wrong page. Oh.
There we go.
Hello, my name is Ed.
Yes, Ed. My name is Naomi. I'm so glad that you are here today.
I am making my way through this winter night, learning what I can.
That is a wonderful journey. For here we are a people with passion for justice and a great belief in the power of God to lead us onward. Here we tell the story of a time when cruel tyrants tried to put out the light of our faith. It is a time that a great miracle occurred. It was the miracle of the oil, which burned for 8 days when there was only oil enough for one. It gave our people strength to carry on. Here are the candles that flicker in memory of miracles and in remembrance of bravery against great odds. My temple candles are not as good as the originals.
That must be so hard.
So here is the light of courage, and here is the light of justice.
Ed thanked her for welcoming him so warmly and continued his journey through the land of sky.
Sorry.
vrot Israel otan mimne, en bechol dor yakam hagibor oel hayam.
At this time of year, in days of yore, that the peace of temple did restore, and today our people, as we dream, will arise, unite, and be redeemed. Who can retell the things that befell us? Who can count them? In every age a hero or sage came to array. Oh, at this time of year, in days of yore, that Mary's the temple did restore, and today our people, as we dream, will arise, unite, and be redeemed.
Mi yehmel hu vrot Israel otan mimne, en bechol dor yakum hagibor oel hayam.
Then Ed crossed into New Bethlehem, and he passed by a star beaming so bright in the night sky that it warmed his wingtips as he hovered behind it. The star hung above a small building, a stable, it looked like, except there were so many people lingering around it.
Hey, my name is...
I am the spirit of Christmas, and they are here to see a baby, a special baby who would change the world. There are shepherds and magi. They have followed a star to see this new life that will brighten a winter's night. Here is the light of love. Here is the light of peace.
I invite you all to rise in the ways that we do and join us in two verses, the first and third of O Little Town of Bethlehem.
O little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie, above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in the dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all thy years are read in thee tonight. How silently the wonder is made known, when God imparts to human hearts the gift that is our own. Now hear the good and godly, while in their holy faith, when souls are truly of home, and heaven may rest within.
You may be seated.
So, pondering in the darkness of his own sky, Ed remembered all that he had learned about hope and faith, courage and justice, love and peace, and in every part of the sky. And he gazed over the horizon to see a soft glow, not the sun as he knew. He remembered in every part of the sky the people who had learned where the sun had retired for for the season to kindle their own light and celebrate in their own way.
Ed sat on the horizon. He was lonely in the dark and cold. He thought to himself, as much as I have learned from my sky neighbors, I can't use their light as my own.
Yet he felt it right there in his own heart. It was a spark, a small light, but his own light. He had sheltered it in his heart, the spirit whose voice was the wind, whose shape in a flame which lives in hearts. Ed had a light to guide him and a flame to warm him, but how could he bring it out? He stared across the universe.
His eyes came to rest upon the sliver of a crescent moon, standing on his tippy toes, flapping his wings ever so gently. Ed stretched and leaned and reached out until he grabbed hold of the moon and brought it into his corner of the sky. He turned it on its side like a glowing bowl. No, not quite right. And then Ed thought, wait, there's a small star just over there.
Well, Ed snagged it and placed it inside the bowl. And voila, there it was, a chalice to hold his light. Ed had found his own light to illuminate the world.
So, in this season, much of our journey may parallel Ed's, our barely angel search for his own illumination. We each have much to draw from, whether it is the noble lights of courage and justice or the inspiring lights of faith, hope, peace, and most of all, love. Their lights can help us navigate this season with deeper meaning and joy. But in order to really find that light and our way through this season, we must do our own discerning of what illumination really speaks to us in our lives now. We must find our own light, a light that begins within and beams forth, carrying our unique contributions to the world out to illuminate the murky and chilly places. And on its journey outward, it may connect with the larger wisdom and the older stories to bolster our spirits as needed. We carry the light into the world in so many ways, by sharing who we are, by offering our compassion and love, by taking our resources, whatever they may be, and using them as a gift to the world. As the beacon of the chalice light continues to shine through this season and beyond, so does the light that we each share with the world. We each illuminate the world. And when we combine this light in the light of community, that light can bring justice, hope, and love to every corner of the world. Such is the deeper joy in meaning of this season. So we have in front of us some of the chalices that people have brought from home, and probably some of you may have some your own chalice at home as well. If not, you can actually make one either by looking at the links that we send out in the contact, but also we can always arrange for you to make one here to take home. For just a moment, let's offer a blessing for all of those chalices and chalices in all of our congregations all over the world. May we who have gathered together today celebrate the light of the chalice. May the light that we kindle illuminate our paths so that we may always seek truth. May the light shared ignite our passion so that we may always seek justice. May the light that we have celebrated shine always in each of our hearts so that when we are weary, we may offer hope and kindness and promise of everlasting love to ourselves and each other. May the light of our chalice, may the light of our inner light shine on. I invite you to rise in all the ways that we do as we sing This Little Light of Mine. If you have a chalice up front, you are welcome to come forward as we sing and collect it and take it back out to you into the congregation. We extinguish this chalice, but we do not extinguish the light of our faith in this season. That light will live in our hearts and live until we gather again. I invite you all to turn towards the center of the congregation so that wherever you are facing someone across the way from you. As we sing Circle Round for Freedom twice, the words will be up here. And so let's sing to each other instead of just singing out forward. So here we go. We'll sing it through twice. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children. Circle, and one more time. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us in prison, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children. Keep the circle. Until we gather in this place, may you carry that light with you. Thank you for joining us today. We hope to see many of you for Christmas Eve this year at 6:30. We'll see you out in coffee hour, out in the courtyard.
Can be there? Good.